Well, today we're at Gaydon in Warwickshire, and it is the British Leyland BMC Day. This is the main entrance at the front. It's quite a modern museum. Some of the food stalls are over there. Now we'll look at some of the vehicles. And the first stand in front of the museum is the land crabs. And they've got the earlier model with the single headlamps on this side of the path.
Luckily we still like these. Yeah, there's a lot.
That's a Wolseley version. On the opposite side we've got the twin headlamp version.
Okay.
Which will have the 6-cylinder engine in it. Right opposite we have the standard section with a pennant, Phase 1 Vanguard, standard 8, 2 of, a standard 10, a Vanguard Vignale 6-cylinder, another 10, 2 Phase 2 Vanguards, followed by a standard 10 pickup, and 2 Vanguard Estates. One is a Phase 2, one is a 1A. And walking along there we have the Triumph 2000 stand. Followed by the ice cream man. And in front of the museum we have the marinas and hotels. I don't think many of us thought there was this marinas in existence, as just to the side of one of the main doors there are yet more, even the commercial variant. And on this side some of the MGs in a local club. Even more marinas. They've certainly made a special effort to turn out today. And here we have the Triumph Acclaim section, 8 vehicles. There's a few more on the MG stand. And then we come to the Daimler, starting with the Dart and a Conquest, nice convertible version. And more Darts. That's a Hooper bodied saloon. And the Sovereign. And then the Jaguar. Lovely condition. 3.5 litre.
Full patch in lace and then you'll be away in gold.
Now this is the TR8 group. Several of those running down there, and just in front of them there's a mixture of TR7 and TR8 going off on to the distance down there, and on the front row there's another 15 or so down here. This section here is Club Triumph, so we've got a mixture of Stag, Dolomite, 2500, Spitfire, Stag again, TR6, TR4, and this one's a Bond Equip, sharing the Triumph engine, Spitfire, GT6, another Stag, with a Spitfire, it's all right, and a Stag. Yeah, this blue one is actually a GT6 and not a Spitfire. And this section is the Maestro range. The earlier Austin labelled. The later ones just had Maestro, and then you got the MG version. And just opposite we have the Metro. Again, the Austin and the MG versions.
The bloke behind me, you can see that I looked at the mirror, there's a bloke behind me.
Now we've got a couple of Montegos mixed in here, and that's Rodacar. It's a left-hand drive vehicle based on a Maestro, and then we're coming into the Rover 213, 216 and the 75 range. SDI, and this area is all the 200, 400 range of Rovers. They changed the styling and the name several times. That one is called a 25. They went 213, 1.3 litre engine, 216, 1.6 litre engine. And then we come on to the wedge shape. That's the Austin version, as is that one. This is the Wolseley version, and then the Princess, which was a name that was adopted afterwards for the whole range. Princess was denoted by the crown on the bonnet. And this one is the Morris version. Badge engineering was the in word. Then we have a mix up here of a Mini MG 2 litre, Metro and a Maxi. This section here is the last of the MGs produced. And a lovely Austin 4 litre and a Farina designed Wolseley. These are all 75 range Rovers and an MG version. And right in the middle is this Innocenti 950, Italian bodied with a BMC engine. This is the Farina Morris Oxford, and then we have a few more of the more modern looking MGs, the MG TF range.
Yeah, some of them are.
Along this row is a MG Magnet, MG 1300, Morris minor van, the Austin 1100, very smart two-tone GT version, and an Austin 1100, and the Wolseley version 1300, and the Austin once again, and then the Princess, which is for sale, followed by a Morris, and to complete the range of badge engineering once again is the Riley. Here we have some of the Mini Coopers.
I'll tell you about you.
And these are the BRM tuned Rovers, all sporting the orange mouthpiece on the grille. This is the TR register stand, so you've got a little bit mixed up, TR3, TR4, TR6. TR7. And right over the back, TR2, and a couple of Rover P5s.
I don't really know about the issue of it before. It broke down on the motorway, and that's
a very well turned out
so it was a screw.
Morris Oxford
He hadn't had it long.
with a scalloped bonnet. And here we have the Wolseley register with the 1500. 1550 and two more 1500s, and the Wolseley Hornet and Farina. And then we have the Morris Miners. Lovely convertible Traveller. Hotted up version ×2. A Traveller and 2 more saloons. An early Traveller. In fact, 2 more Travellers here. This one with LED lights, making number 4 in the line. And a typical Panda car from the 1960s. And going off into the distance and coming onto the green sward in front, more Morris Miners. Well, a little bit different here. 1.5 Morris Miners. I think this one's lost his direction. Tucked in with the Miners. I believe the only one here, the low light Morris Miner. And then one of the early Morris Miners with a split screen. The upper level of the show area, mainly, well, they're all Triumphs, but they're mainly TRs. Ranging from TR3 right up to TR7. So this one is an MGA. And a TR parked next to it with a TR3. Next to the TR2. And a Peerless, which shares the same engine. This side a Midget, TR6, the Frog Eye Sprite and a TR4, which actually is a TR5. This one is the TR4. And next to it, TR6. Looking across to the museum once again, you can see the size of this building. There's a vast collection of vehicles inside it, but nowhere near the collection that's outside today. Now these are South Derbyshire Classic Mini Miners Club. There's a couple of Coopers there. This one does glass fibre alterations, GT6, Austin Cambridge, and the Somerset.
I thought it was an Atlantic at first glance. Right, yeah, at first glance I thought. Oh yeah,
And a Hereford. Lovely condition. There's a A35 there mixed in with the Triumphs GT6 Dolomite Sprint. Toledo. Stag. Probably the only Morgan we'll see here, but it did share the Vanguard engine. Triumph 2000. 2 Stags. And a Vitesse. With 2 more Dolomites. 1 more Vitesse. And 6 of the Rover SD1. 3 Rover 75s, although the central one is badged as a MG. And the Rover V8. Range Rover. Late Land Rover Defender and an early Defender. MG GT. And what would be the military version with winch. The one we all know, the Land Rover. And this is the mini section. All ages mixing together. This one here is an Innocenti, which is the Italian version of it.
So it's mini soft brake, yeah?
That we saw yesterday, the one we saw yesterday was fog glass, and that was metal.
That's the Riley Elf times 2. Wolseley Hornet times 2. This was the, I would call it a camper version.
One of them down there is an ambulance.
So that one is a Suntour camper van conversion. That's a Cooper, but it's called the Morris Cooper, being an early one. Rebadged here as the Austin Cooper. Then of course it had the Morris S Cooper. So many different badges on the front. This one bears the Leyland badge. This one just the plain word Mini. And along this line is the Morris Minor pickup. These are the Honda engined Rovers, the 827 range, mixed up with more modern MGs and Rovers. And once again, various Rovers, the later models, soon to go bust model. Mixed in there is a 213, ZS under the MG banner. Rover 2000 MG V8, limited edition MG ZR, known as the Twilight. There was 10 built, and this is number 6. And this one, well, it's bright. Now this one is a South African built Austin 1100, but it was called the Apache. Stands rather higher than the British version, as can be seen by the Raleigh standing next to it. Another shot of the Apache rear end, so unlike the 1100 with the sloping back, this one's got a definite boot.